Hey there, ladies and gentlemen. Today, this video is recorded so that you can take your time and write your notes at your own pace. You should be able to stop the video when you need to so that you can write down the answers that need to go in your notebook. Okay. Today, we're covering Lesson 11, Section 3, the development of towns and cities in West Africa. For the directions, you'll need a piece of binder paper, and on the piece of binder paper, set up your notes like the picture shown. You're going to use your pencil to draw a line all the way down the paper from the top to the bottom, but that line needs to be more centered on the left-hand side of the paper than it is on the right. I use a rule where I put my fingers on the red line and I use a 2-finger width to draw my line straight down, and I'll show you how to do that during class live. The title on your video on your notes today needs to be Lesson 11, Section 3. As you go through the slideshow, on the left side of your notes, you're going to write the green titles that you can see I've done 2 for you, Introduction and Knock and Ironworking. And on the right side of the page, you write the bullet point facts that are typed in green. So anything green needs to be written completely and exactly as it is in the slideshow over here on the left-hand side of your notes. I've done the first one for you to give you an idea of what this should look like, and I would also like you guys to skip a line in between titles. You can either do a squiggly line like I have, or you can just leave it blank, but make sure that you're skipping a line. Your writing should be neat and small, and like I said earlier, it should exactly copy what's written in the slides. So here we go. Introduction. Since introduction's written in green, you're going to write that on the left-hand side of your notes, and later you're going to write whatever's written in green on the right-hand side. Some West African villages gradually developed into towns and cities. Although some had thousands of residents, ancient cities in West Africa were not as large as modern cities. Our question is, why did villages grow into cities in West Africa? 2 important reasons were the growth of ironworking and the spread of trade. And you can see from our picture, we have an iron worker, and then we have people trading. A little bit of background information. First, if you notice on this slide, there is nothing typed in green, so you do not need to write anything down. Background information. Ironworking was discovered by 1500 BCE in Turkey. Knowledge of this skill probably spread through trade across the Sahara Desert. There are some historians and archaeologists that believe Africans discovered ironworking on their own. I want you to ask yourself, what types of farming tools are made out of iron? Knock and ironworking. The Knock culture is one of the earliest known societies in Africa, dating around 500 BCE, and they were the first to use iron tools. Smelting, if you remember from vocabulary, is the process of melting iron ore to extract out the iron. Skilled craftsmen called blacksmiths used the hot melted iron to shape useful tools such as axes, hoes, and weapons like spears. Before people had knowledge of iron, they used to make their tools out of stone, but the iron tools are much stronger and more effective than stone tools were. We have 2 photos here. One, the one on the left, is the Knock iron smelting furnaces, where they would put the ore and they would heat it up using charcoal and melt the iron out of the ore that could then be shaped into tools. Here's an example of what some of these tools look like today. We have in this one a hammer, 2 axe heads, a chisel, and a drill. Okay. These aren't quite as old as Knock ironworking artifacts, but they give us an idea of what they might have looked like. Iron tools advanced the culture. The idea of iron tools spread quickly in Africa. With iron tools, farmers could clear land and grow crops more efficiently than with stone tools. Okay, obviously, if they have a tool, it's like plows and rakes and hoes, they were able to farm more land and grow more food. They could then grow more food and support a growing population, because if you have food to eat, you can keep a larger population alive. This allowed more people to be free to pursue other trades such as weaving, metalworking, and pottery instead of farming. The use of these tools makes it so that more people have time for other ideas and for other things like metalworking, weaving, and pottery. These goods and the surplus, which means extra, food, could be traded for other things that they could not produce on our own. So we have sort of an image here of iron tools lead to bigger crops, which leads to larger populations, which gives us a surplus of goods that can be traded to other places. Trade. As trade spread, villages along the rivers became trading sites. Villages that controlled the trade routes became market sites. Many villages grew wealthy by charging fees for trading. People moved to these villages for jobs such as supervising trade, learning crafts, and building public buildings. This is what caused villages to grow into large towns and cities. Again, we have one photo here on the left. This is Djenné, one of the largest trading cities in West Africa. You'll be learning about that tomorrow. And a traditional African marketplace. For your summary on your notes, write a 5-sentence paragraph at the bottom of your notes that explains what you learned today. Use the following sentence frame to help. Today in class, I learned about blank. First of all, I learned blank. I also learned that blank. Finally, I learned blank. This is what I learned in class today. This summary will give you 5 sentences, and then you'll be able to upload a photo of your notes and turn it in for credit.